Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. There's a lot going on. I couldn't even get through everything during the Crypto Minute. So what do we have today? We have FixedFloat being hacked for $26 million. $26 million. And what did they steal? Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's what they stole. Now, FixedFloat is saying, hey, customer funds were never touched. Okay. Another piece of information is it looks like the money primarily was moved to an exchange called eXchdotch. I didn't bother to look into that. I don't need that. I don't think I need to go there. But I am paying attention to a couple of things. The amount of money, the amount of funds that were taken, how they were taken, right? In what format? What digital assets were taken? Bitcoin, Ethereum, $26 million worth. Then I started looking into, wow, this exchange doesn't have KYC or know your customer. That's a risk thing. Makes me scratch my head. Well, do you have any, anti-money laundering there? This is the first I've heard about this company, FixedFloat, and there's no reason for me to use FixedFloat. I don't use them. There's no reason for me to use them. So this is the first time I've heard of them, and it's one of my rules. If I'm going to use a centralized exchange, that exchange must have certain things in place. I need to know that they know how to manage risk. Right? Now, I don't keep my funds on a centralized exchange for any time too long, unless I have specific uses for it, and that's why it's there. The bulk of my holdings of my digital assets are held in non-custodial wallets. Because I like having control, not your keys, not your crypto. That's right. I firmly believe. But I'm making a conscious choice when I say, yes, I'm holding these things right here. And it's probably because I want to be able to react quickly. And maybe for what I have planned for those assets, this is the better spot for me to be able to do so at the right price point. So, and we can get into, the different places where you can have crypto. Right? You can have it on PayPal, Cash App, Robinhood, any one of the centralized exchanges, non-custodial wallets. You have a whole bunch of choices. I actually get into that in the class that I'm putting together, as well as the book that supports the class. If you ever read the book, Who Moved My Cheese? Great book. I think the author's name was John Spencer. Great book. It's an older book. It's from way, 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 way back. I remember first reading it when I was a kid. I read it every so often, as a matter of fact. Right? I read it every so often. I think it's a great book. That book is about hour and a half to 2 hours of read time, listen time if you like audiobooks. My book is about to be the same thing. It's about to be around the same time frame, that kind of thing. So look for it. We'll have it out in a little bit, but the class is coming out and the book is going to support the class. And we've got a couple of surprises for that as well. Next up, we have Forbes. Forbes gets into the Metaverse. They bought permanent land in the Sandbox. And I'm like, that's actually a big deal because I've been, I'm a principal member of the Metaverse Standards Forum. And I've been seeing an uptick of activity within the Metaverse. When you think about all these headsets that are coming out, those are crucial pieces to the Metaverse. So we're looking at, all kinds of things like interoperability, user sovereignty, meaning if I'm a user in this Metaverse, I can traverse through and go to this Metaverse and take my stuff with me. That's what we mean by, user sovereignty. It's my stuff, not your stuff on your platform. It's my stuff, right? So it's actually a big deal that they actually get there, right? So getting involved in the Sandbox and that environment is going to be huge. I'm expecting that to actually have a little bit of a bump. I'm also looking at Ethereum and other altcoins to outperform Bitcoin over the future. And the reason why, Ethereum has a Dencun upgrade that's coming, as well as the Ethereum spot ETFs that are coming. Now I want you to stop and think, and I know this is crazy, but Bitcoin is a different animal than all other coins. That's why they're called altcoins. Bitcoin is a totally different animal. Bitcoin is finite. So it is a great store of value. So that value will continue to go up. But I do expect the usage to come down. And the reason why is because people aren't going to ditch their Bitcoin. They're going to build it up and they're going to leverage it, not build it up to sell it and never see it again. So those are things that I'm looking at. Ethereum, okay, great. I can use Ethereum. I can use, Solana. I can use all these other ones. But I think Ethereum, I think Kathy Wood is right. I really do think Ethereum is going to be the only other spot ETF that's going to happen. Because there's just no drive for anything else. You would need a tremendous amount of drive for Solana to do it, let's say, for XRP to do it. That's not their, I don't know that that's their direction. But Ethereum, the number 2 coin, yeah, that makes sense. Everybody else is a distant third. Just putting it out there for you in terms of, you doing your own research and coming up with things, just trying to share information with you. Something else that came up, UK lawmakers, United Kingdom, they're looking to really push through regulation on stablecoins. And I sit there and I just kind of go, wow, why would they be focusing on stablecoins? Why is that? Oh yeah, that's right, CBDCs. Stablecoins have the ability to disrupt the usefulness of a CBDC. Like, why do I need a CBDC if I have stablecoins? Huh? Some people could say, well, there are uses for it. Okay. But there are trust issues around it. So the conversations that are happening around stablecoins means that there are deeper conversations happening about CBDCs. Even in the United States, first conversations that are going on right now, they're about stablecoins. So just putting that out there for you. BlackRock and Bitwise are both making moves, and it's surprising that they're both making opposite moves now, the way they made opposite moves when they initially got their Bitcoin spot ETFs. BlackRock went institutional immediately. They had institutional money, they went institutional immediately. Calm down, Stitchy. Oh, he must smell somebody outside. He doesn't like people walking by the house. My little toughie. But BlackRock went institutional, Bitwise went retail. Now they're crisscrossing. BlackRock has a brand new ad out, or a set of brand new ads out, going after retail investors. Bitwise got some knocks on the door, and now they're going after institutional investors. I don't know that they're going after institutional investors as much as they got knocks on the door. You know what I mean? I mean, they kind of had to say, okay, finally, we're ready to do this. Not bad. 2 different approaches, 2 different success stories. Not a bad idea. Something else that's on my mind is eBay. I first told you on June 23rd, because I looked at my notes, looked it up. You guys have seen me do it. On June 23rd, 2022. June 23rd, 2022 is when I told you that eBay bought an NFT marketplace called Known Origin. Then I didn't hear anything after that. Like, what? So here's my problem. News happens with a minimum of 2 or 3 legs. If it's good news, it happens with a minimum of 3 legs. Hey, we're gonna do something. Hey, we're doing something. Hey, we did it. Those are the 3 legs. After they went out and bought, Known Origin, they said, hey, we're gonna buy Known Origin. Yeah, they bought Known Origin. Nothing else happened. Everything went silent. Crickets. Why? Oh, because friction between the teams? That could do it. I mean, I really do think that Known Origin is eBay's, Kodak moment. They didn't make that work, and it's going to be hard for them to create, a foothold in the NFT market space if they don't do something. And if they don't get into that NFT marketplace, I think NFT marketplaces will get into eBay's business faster than eBay can get into their business. Right? And the reason why I think that's a big deal is because Kodak, if you didn't know, was a huge camera company. It's one of the most famous stories. Huge camera company, did not react quick enough. You could say that they reacted so slow that they didn't sleep on the idea. They were snoring on the idea when digital cameras came out. They laughed at it. They scoffed at it. Ha, 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 ha. That's never going to happen. Ha, ha, ha. Well, it happened. And they snored so bad that by the time they came into it, like I was part of the team that actually, They started a partner program. I was a part of the partner program with the application I built way back in the day called Peanuts the Elephant, teaching little kids ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, right? And they sponsored, my first set of CDs. I think it was DVDs rather. It was like 1,000 DVDs that they printed up for me. Thought it was awesome. Here's what they did. They finally come out with digital cameras. The digital cameras were not slick enough. They didn't look cool enough compared to everybody else's digital camera, and they were late to the game. They also weren't top of the line. They had nothing really at the top of the line that made you go, oh, I can go after that. Everybody else did. And then what happened? Well, Kodak's not in that business anymore, are they? They're hurting. So I think eBay messing up with known origin, because I do look at this as a screw up. This should have been a slam dunk for them. Let known origin do what known origin does. Talk to known origin about how you might be able to leverage NFTs for your marketplace and vice versa. But leave them alone. Let them do what they do, right? Not necessarily run them autonomously, but figure out ways to be innovative. And I think that's where they ran into problems. And it didn't work out. So now we're hearing about it. Now we're hearing about tensions and things like that. It happens. It really does happen. Then we have $20 million in Bitcoin options trades, indicating a bullish sentiment amongst options traders. And I'm sitting back and I'm kind of going, yeah, it makes sense. The math is mathing in that case for me. I'm expecting upward momentum to continue. And we'll get into numbers in a minute. But I do expect upward momentum to continue. I don't mean in a straight line. Let's not get it twisted. Things don't happen in straight lines. But I'm expecting upward movement, right? Especially as we get closer to the halving event. Especially when we get closer to the halving event. And as a matter of fact, I'm looking at the halving event as, well, we built up to the halving event, and then that's going to build up just before it's going to build up to a crescendo, and then people are going to take profit. Well, I'm looking to take profit here, not here. So I'm playing around with one of my wallets to figure out what that timing could be, right? So I am paying attention to all that stuff. I mean, when the halving event is timed to happen, all that good stuff. So there are indicators that are out there that'll tell you, hey, based on where we are now, it'll be this number of days, this number of days, this number of days, this number of days. Now, based on that halving event, you kind of have to have common sense about it. That means there'll be less Bitcoin created, which means, there'll be Bitcoin created, but at half the pace. Miners are going to take a hit in terms of how much money they can make. It'll take them more work to get it done. So less profit, which means that Bitcoin is probably going to go up because there's going to be more demand. And that's how that happens, which is why everybody's telling you, if you're going to be investing in the digital space, DCA, right? Dollar cost average. Use some kind of a dollar cost averaging program to actually get in and maintain and build your bag. Now, I'm not giving you financial advice, but I want you to, the only financial advice I'll give you is to do your own research. And I will suggest that I use a dollar cost averaging to make money and grow my bags. And then I have other bags that I just put into, right? I have my own strategies about why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, all that other good stuff. And it's about, understanding the fundamentals about crypto, which is why I'm working on a book. The book is going to support the 2-hour class. And the book should read about as fast as Who Moved My Cheese. If you don't know Who Moved My Cheese, what Who Moved My Cheese is, it is a great book that I think everybody should read. I think they should actually give it to high schoolers to read, because it's in high school that you determine, am I going to college? Am I going to trade school? Just what am I doing? And I think Who Moved My Cheese is a great way for high school kids to get their head in the game. Not everybody goes to college. And really, with the price of college, yeesh, I don't know that everybody should go to college. I did not go to college. If a number of people ask me the question, I did not go to college. I did not. I started working when I was young, really young, and I was always an entrepreneur. I was always out there. I mean, when I was a kid, I had an errand business. I would run errands for people. And if you look at me running errands for people when I was a kid, yeah, that was DoorDash. That was Instacart. That was my idea, young, years and years and years ago. Me and a whole bunch of other kids in around the world, we would run errands for people. We were errand boys and girls, right? And then people made it into businesses. But, Who Moved My Cheese is a way for me, and I read it every so often, is a way for me to reset myself, recalibrate myself. And what I want to do with this book is kind of the same thing. I want to be able to give you the fundamentals around, the cryptoverse, so that you have a basis upon which you can build your knowledge. And then we have a couple other ideas too. We're working on a deal with another company for those people that want to get involved in it more in crypto, like earn money from a real job perspective, working with another company to introduce something like that. So give us a minute. We're almost there. The book, we're at a point where I've compiled all of the data. I've kind of put it in order. We're spell checking right now. Then the next step is coming up with the artwork and having the designer lay everything out, going through it one more time, and then having them all printed and ready for the class. Like I said, I'm hoping the class can happen either in March or April. I don't want to rush it, but I think that's what we're trying to do, is make sure that we can deliver something that's actually of value. And there's a lot more coming. So it's going to be the class, the book, and a couple of other really strong goodies that are going to be in there that'll make you happy. So yeah, that's where we are right now. Anyway, you know what we should do? We should get into the numbers real quick. Right? And let me dip my notes. And let me refresh this, because I haven't refreshed it in a minute. It makes sense to refresh it now. All right, so Heroes of Mavia is down 20%. I was just talking about them the other day. Market cap of about $237 million. I am paying attention to them just because I like the graphics. I just like the graphics of what they had going on. I thought that was really cool, so I am paying attention to it. Not that I would buy into it from a coin perspective, because I don't really play games, but if I did, I would probably want to play this game. Who knows? I probably still do want to play this game. We'll see what happens. I just don't have time. That's why I don't do it. I used to be into games a lot. BitTensor is down 7%. Who else am I paying attention to? VeThor, we just spoke about them yesterday. They're down 9%. Pyth Network is down 6%. Told you I'm paying attention to Pyth because it looks like they're actually a good second oracle that's out there. Helium is down a little bit, 6%. Anybody else? Nope, that's it. On the plus side, we go all the way down to here. So who's in here that we have? ApeCoin is up 6%. Not something I touch, but I do pay attention to it. Same thing with Chili's, up 8%. Not something I touch, but I do. I touched it a while ago, and then I sold my bag because I just wasn't feeling them anymore. Immutable is up 8%. Siacoin, not something I pay attention to, but you gotta show respect to a company, to a coin that's got a market cap of $820 million. Again, respectable number, coming close to that $1 billion mark. Something I pay attention to. Who else is up here that's worthy of note? Hedera up another 10%. I do hold a bag of Hedera. Filecoin is up another 20%. Arweave is another company, another one that you should be paying attention to, and that one's up 20% as well. These are big moves. These are very big moves. Very interesting. Looking from the earnings report, from the stock perspective, Walmart, Home Depot, wow. Palo Alto Networks, Public Storage, Realty Income, I used to consult them. These are all companies that I'd be paying attention to when it comes to their earnings reports, because they're going to give you really keen eyes on those sectors. So definitely something that I want to pay attention to. On the news, there's no news happening today. There really isn't. No, news doesn't really happen until like Thursday. That's when we're expecting news. Fear and Greed Index is at 72. DeFi Llama, we're a hair below where we were yesterday, but we're still above $96 billion in total value locked. That's a happy number. That's a very happy number. As you see Bitcoin and other coins go up, you will see this go up. So I expect this to be well over 100 billion when Bitcoin goes over, 55,000. That's what I'm expecting. Let's see here. And now I've set up these two new bars. So you saw the yellow bar right here, the yellow path. Same thing here. I think we're going to be trading within this range for a little bit before we pop up. That next pop up really should be around 50, 55, 56,000, right? That's really what I'm thinking. Looking at it from the big board perspective, you can see there are a lot of ones that are up. There are still a lot of deals that can be made. Cardano is still above 60%. That's big. Solana came down a little bit. I saw it up as high as 112 yesterday, but 109. Okay, not mad at all. Right, but there are opportunities that are abound, and you should be paying attention to them. Do your own research, see what fits your portfolio, see what fits your risk, your risk aversion, and try to get in. But we are maintaining right now above $52,000. Ethereum is up. Ethereum's going to hit. I think Ethereum could hit 3,000 before Bitcoin hits 55. It's just growing like that. Look at where you are year to date. Pay attention to those things. You are at the 90-day mark. Look at you at the 30-day mark. Even within the last 7 days, there's only been 2 days here that Bitcoin's outperformed. All right. Then you have Solana. The Solana is only up 7.66% year to date, but for the past 90 days, up 112. I think there's still tons of room to grow. Why? Because it wasn't that long ago that Solana hit 120. So Solana hitting 120 is definitely, for me, within the realm of possibility. So if I think Solana is going to hit 120 again, I'm going to invest in Solana. That's just me. XRP hasn't done that much, but still above the 55-cent mark. Let's see, Cardano, again, above the 60-cent mark. Happy about that. I'm expecting more, though. I really am expecting more. I don't sleep on Cardano. I don't sleep on Avalanche. Avalanche is making big moves, but I'm not looking at any big bunny hops anytime soon, right? Doge. I really don't mess around with Doge. I don't hold anything in Doge anymore. I did, a couple of years ago, but I don't anymore. Chainlink, I do hold a bag. Do I think it's going to be $20? Of course I do. Do I think it's going to hit 25? I put it in the same time frame of the 55 for Bitcoin and the 3,000 for Ethereum. That's the kind of range I put it in. Matic, barely having its nose above water with regard to year to date, but I'm expecting a lot from Matic. I have no fear about Matic whatsoever. I think they'll start regaining their space shortly, but I want them. They got to do something about this whole Tron thing. I just don't understand how they're lower than Tron. It's hurting my feelings. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. Don't forget that all of these articles, everything that you hear me talking about, they're released on the website first. So if you're a member of GrowMyBag.tv, you could have already read this on the way to work. Just saying, you could have read this on the way to work before I even aired this. So you might want to join up, pay attention. There are more things coming. We've got a lot more things coming that are going to make you happy. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I do apologize for those that stayed to listen to everything. I do apologize for the poor sound quality yesterday. I didn't reboot my computer. I had a lot of things going on, so that's why. Anyway, hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.